Welcome back to the Sol-Locke. Gen 2 blessed us with both our worst and best legs of the series thus far, and now we find ourselves entering a completely different game in Gen 3. Our ban list has gotten pretty sizable, but Hoenn's different regional decks gives us reprieve from the struggles of building a team. I'll try to keep the rundown clear and concise, but the changes that occurred between these two gens are pretty significant. First, a lesson. In Gens 1 and 2, your Pokemon's stats were determined by two things, DVs and stat XP. DVs were a hidden value from 0 to 15 that was innate to the Pokemon itself. Stat XP was a hidden value for every stat, increased in line with the base stats of any Pokemon defeated, capped at 65,000-ish points per stat. From Gen 3 onwards, DVs are replaced by IVs, represented by a hidden value from 0 to 31, also innate to the Pokemon itself. Stat XP is replaced with the EV system. Pokemon can earn a total of 510 EVs spread across all of their stats, with a cap of 255 on any one stat. These hidden values are earned in a specific stat or two based on the Pokemon you defeat. EVs make changes to stats in multiples of 4, so to get the most out of the system, your total should be divisible by 4, with an ideal max of 252 in a single stat. This is infinitely more fine-tuned and restrictive compared to the old system. Pokemon are also bestowed natures, personalities that provide a 10% increase in one stat and a 10% decrease in the other, or no changes at all. Alongside the EVs and IVs of a Pokemon, natures result in the existence of many unique Pokemon. It's a shame that embracing their unique traits could make them mathematically suboptimal. The reason I bring all of this up is because training won't always be mindless grinding prior to major battles like it used to be. I'll have to be more considerate of specific stats I want to increase to boost our chances of success. Beyond that confusing mess of math, we are finally introduced to abilities. Yay! Kind of. In Gen 3, there really aren't that many impactful abilities. Thankfully, constant additions and reworks continue to flesh this aspect of the games out as the series progresses. Outside of these core gameplay changes, Gen 3 is a major audio and visual upgrade. It also starts the trend of the box legendary Pokemon tying into the plot of the games, mainly through the villain's plans. Its encounter is now mandatory. Gone are the days where I can ignore Lugia and beat the game. With all of that laid out, let's get out of this moving truck. Why am I in here? I'm not furniture. While the movers deal with all the heavy stuff, I deal with the clock. After missing Dad on TV, we have one of those in this gen. Isn't that weird? We head over to greet our new neighbors. May will be a rival of sorts for us, once we get a Pokemon of our own. We just have to meet with the Professor first. And what better way to be introduced to the Professor and our starter than this? Birch probably doesn't have much time left before that Poochyena takes him out, so we quickly choose Torchic and make the save. After the ordeal, we get to nickname our starter. Torchic will forevermore be known as Kick-Chick, and we head to Route 103 for our first battle with May. Picking up a level beforehand helps us win this battle, but Mudkip gives us a good run for our money with that opening crit. We head back to the lab for a Pokédex and Pokéballs and get the run started. Our first level cap is 15, and we have lots of ground to cover as we head to Rustboro City, home of the first gym. Even though we technically received Kick-Chick here, I count the starter as an encounter for the location of the lab, Little Root Town, and catch Bo the Wurmple as our Route 101 encounter. Sly the Zigzagoon joins us from Route 103, we catch Tengu the Seedot on Route 102, and the new additions do some brief training before we progress to Petalburg City. Dearest Dad is the 5th gym leader, so we don't have a battle slated yet. Instead, we're introduced to Wally, another rival of sorts. We escort him as he catches a Ralts and continue on our journey. We find and catch Toilet the Wingull on Route 104. Don't judge me, you can see Pelipper's resemblance to one. Petalburg Woods introduces us to Team Magma, the land-expanding nuts that are the villains of this game. This grunt is easily dealt with, and we then find our next encounter, a Taillow we catch and name Aragorn. Sometimes the name has absolutely no relevance to the Mon. Some more trainers on the way to Rustboro provide for good XP, which leads to Bo evolving into Cascoon. We skip past Rustboro for now and head to Route 106 to take on the trainers. Here we find and kill an Inkata, losing out on the encounter for this route. Unfortunate. A bit further into the route, we enter Rust Turf Tunnel and catch Boombox the Whismer. Boombox takes Aragorn's place. We don't need your power yet, King. The grind resumes, Bo evolves again into Dustox, and Tengu evolves into Nuzleaf, the poster child of the Nuzlocke challenge. Defeating the gym trainers puts most of the team right at the limits of the level cap, and we challenge Roxanne. Up first is Toilet against Geodude. Water Gun is an OHKO, and Toilet levels up. Up next is the ace, Nose Pass. Water Gun deals about half, and Rock Throw does massive damage, triggering our Oran Berry. The heal isn't enough to take another, so I pivot into Sly, who starts kicking up sand as it's hit with Rock Tomb. With Nose Pass sufficiently blinded, I pivot into Kick Chick and use Growl a couple times to further debuff it. I start chipping away, but can't deal enough damage, so Toilet takes over and secures the KO with Water Gun. The debuffs I applied came through in a big way. Kick Chick evolves into Combuskin, and we're awarded our first badge of Gen 3, increasing the level cap to 18. That grunt from before manages to steal the package he wanted in the woods and adds kidnapping to his charges. Boombox's uproar takes Poochyena out in 2, and the goods are recovered. Old Man Briny thanks us for freeing Pico, and we receive a Pokénav and some side quests for retrieving the Devon goods. Our side quests lead to a very quick reunion with Briny, who helps us sail to Dewford, coincidentally the location of our second gym battle. The first thing we do this time is take on the fighting type gym trainers, with Toilet in the lead. Wing Attack packs the trainers up easily. Our first side quest has us entering Granite Cave, and we manage to find and catch Ma, the fairly elusive Mawile. Ordinarily, you'd need Flash to navigate the deeper portions of the cave, usable by defeating the gym leader here, but this is just another area I can navigate through childhood repetition. We meet up with Steven, hand over the letter we were tasked with delivering, and grind up ahead of a battle with Brawly, Dewford's gym leader. Makuhita in the cave provides everyone with HP EVs, which will help with survivability going forward. Time to take Brawly on. Kick Chick leads against Machop. We use Focus Energy, raising our crit rate to start, and Machop hits us with Karate Chop. Our onslaught of Pecks fail to crit, let alone KO, and between Bulk Up and Brawly healing, Kick Chick has to switch out or risk death. I send Bo in, who immediately lands a crit confusion and takes Machop out. Way to make Focus Energy look really bad, man. Makuhita is up next and is taken out by 2 confusion attacks, only using Bulk Up in the middle. Okay, Bo is my goat. The acquisition of Badge 2 raises our level cap to 23, and we sail with Briny to Slateport City. The beach is littered with trainers who provide Boombox the XP she needs to evolve into Loudred. We head into the museum in town to hand off the goods we were supposed to deliver, but we have to deal with Team Magma first. Kicking their butts leads to an introduction to the leader of Team Magma, Maxie. With their departure, we finally hand off the goods and move on. On Route 110, we have a battle with May. This battle has a reputation for being a tough one, so it'll be interesting to see how we fare. Shroomish is faked out by Tengu, and I pivot into Bo. Bo is hit with Stun Sport and Leech Seed, and we're unable to act twice in a row. I switch into Kick Chick and burn with Ember before being spored and seeded again. Luckily, Ember connects for the KO. May's Marshtomp is sent out next, so I send Tengu out. Mudshot and Water Gun don't do too much to Tengu, so I'm able to use Nature Power and get the KO. May's final Pokemon is a Numel, who is one-shot by Toilet's Water Gun. I think we handled that pretty well. Before long, we make it to Mauville City. I grab the coin case from this NPC who wanted Harbor Mail in exchange, pick up the Mach Bike, and then have a quick battle with Wally. Tengu demolishes his Ralts, and he heads home. We won't be battling him again for a long while, and it definitely won't be that easy next time. The team trains up against the plethora of trainers in and around the city, and we're eventually ready to take on Watson. Kick Chick is the opener against Magnemite. Magnemite outspeeds, and Thundershock does decent damage before Double Kick KOs. Tengu is the move when Voltorb is sent out. Sonic Boom hits, then we fake out. I use Harden as Spark connects, and eventually paralyzes us into submission. Dropped low, I switch into Bow and start fishing with Protect, ultimately blocking the self-destruct that is used. My goat. Finally, Magneton is sent out. I stay into heal, and then pivot into Kick Chick. Double Kick misses out on the KO and Watson heals up, but a crit Double Kick ends things right after. This battle was stressful, not gonna lie. There were so many ways that could have gone wrong, so I'm glad a deathless one was the outcome. The level cap increases to 28, but instead of progressing, I do what I should have done before challenging Watson. I head into the game corner and start gambling my savings away, aiming for the invaluable TMs up for grabs here. This takes ages, but is super worth it as we're eventually able to get the TMs for Ice Beam, Psychic, Thunderbolt, and Flamethrower, massively boosting our power once used. Our next gym battle is in Lava Ridge Town, but we have quite a lot to do before we get there. On our winding trek to Lava Ridge, we first head through the Fiery Path and the gorgeous Ashen routes leading to Fall Arbor Town. Past Fall Arbor, we approach Meteor Falls, evolving Toilet into Pelipper. Now the name matches the visage. Inside the cave proper, we have another run-in with Team Magma. There's no combat on the menu this time, as they've already acquired what they wanted. The main takeaways from this interactions are our introduction to Maxie's rival Archie from Team Aqua, and that we should head to Mount Chimney. And after taking more trainers on, that's exactly what we do. I always enjoyed taking the cable car. Speaking of, have you guys ever seen the hiker during the ascent? I haven't. Teams Aqua and Magma are locked in a dead heat, so it's up to me to tip the scales. The first grunt we battle isn't much issue, so we're quick to challenge the admin, Tabitha. Psychic crit one-shots Numel number 1 and is a 2-hit KO on Numel number 2. With only a Poochyena left, I mess about and eventually KO with Poison Sting and chip damage. Now it's time to take on the big boss. Maxie leads with a Mightyena, and I lead with Toilet, taking Intimidate's reduction on purpose before switching to Ma. Rock Smash hits and lowers the foe's defense, but the infuriating combination of Bite Flinches and Sand Attack result in Ma taking way too much damage. Maxie heals as I pivot into Tengu, who returns the flinches with Fake Out and Nature Power to finally KO this menace. Camerupt sent out next, and Magnitude does nothing on Toilet, who comes out to face him and KO with Water Gun. After a missed Supersonic and a Super Potion, Ice Beam takes Maxie's Golbat out. The team retreats and we take the Meteorite back, avoiding a forced volcanic eruption. Absolutely insane plan of action on Maxie's part. With this problem solved, we are finally able to reach Lava Ridge Town, so we forge ahead to take the gym trainers on and eventually, Flannery. Kick-Chick starts to set up bulk up while Slugma poisons us with Smog. I was hoping to get at least 2 bulk ups in before eating the Pecha Berry I prepped, but that would be too convenient. We managed to get 3 bulk ups in before being poisoned again, so I nabbed the KO with Double Kick. Slugma number 2 is immediately KO'd by Double Kick as well. Flannery's ace Torkoal is sent out and takes just over half from Double Kick before returning fire with Body Slam. Just in case she heals, I use Dig, avoiding overheat and getting the KO, ending the battle. Badge number 4 comes along with a level cap increase to 31. This time, there's nothing mandatory to deal with before heading over to challenge our dad Norman, so we train up and get our battle underway. The absolutely monstrous Slacking is Norman's lead, and I lead with Bow. Knowing full well that none of my Pokemon are fast enough, I can use Bow's Protect to ignore the turns that Slacking can attack, and hit it for marginal damage on the turns it loafs around. This is sped up greatly by Poison Chip damage, eventually getting the KO. Kick-Chick takes Facade very well on the switch into handle Vigoroth, and does massive damage with Double Kick after tanking Slash. Since we're slower, I have no choice but to switch, so I send the tanky Mine, who works through multiple Hyper Potions to KO Vigoroth. Norman sends out a second Slacking, who sets up and uses Focus Punch on Bow, tanked beautifully before we repeat the Protect Stall strat and win the battle. This battle was straight up unwinnable without Protect there, so I'm glad we have the GOAT on the team for this leg. The level cap barely increases to 33, and our next destination is the far-off Fortree City. Passing through Mauville to get there, we take on a little side quest from Watson. He tasks us with turning some generator off, easily dealt with. We then make our way through the expansive routes 118 and 119, and arrive at the Weather Institute, where we are once again waylaid by Team Magma. The grunts pose little challenge given how close we already are to the level cap, which quickly leads to a battle with an admin again. This time it's Courtney, who leads with Numel. Tengu was able to defeat it without any trouble. I guess Numel doesn't know any fire-type attacks? I pivot into Kick-Chick, who takes Mightyena out with Double Kick, solving that problem. Immediately following Team Magma is a battle with May. Tengu and Shroomish face off, and Tengu comes out on top after using Growth to boost Thief's power. Turns out Numel does know a fire-type attack, but I still switch into Bow, who gets the KO with Psychic. Marshtomp in the rain is a big problem, but its part ground typing enables Toilet to hit hard with Surf before Marshtomp takes itself out with Recoil. More than half of the team is at the level cap, so I have to play the next stretch of the game safe to avoid over-leveling before battling Winona. After avoiding the trainers on the way to him, Steven provides us with the Devon Scope. We can use this to see the Kecleon blocking access to the gym, and then battle the gym trainers. Anyone still below the cap quickly trains up, and we challenge Winona. Winona's Swellow pretty skillfully uses Endeavor to drop Boombox to 32 HP before going down to Shockwave. Water Gun is a jump scare from Pelipper, who lives the Shockwave, and then gets healed up before finally letting Shockwave finish it off. I switch into Toilet, whose Surf is a 2-hit KO on Skarmory, and the Nightmarish ace Altaria is sent out next. This is almost single-handedly the reason why I went for Ice Beam so early into the run. Dragon Dance and Earthquake is all Altaria needs to run a train on an unprepared team. Altaria outspeeds, Dragon Breath does decent damage to us before Ice Beam connects, and doesn't KO. Oh god, this is the end. I'm in full-on panic mode, so I switch into Ma. Winona heals Altaria up, and I use Rock Tomb to lower her speed, only for Dragon Dance to come out and revert the change, adding an attack boost in for good measure. Help! Earthquake doesn't immediately kill Ma, but we miss Rock Tomb. I switch back into Toilet, dodging the Earthquake, and survive Dragon Breath with 1 HP before using Ice Beam to win our 6th badge. Holy hell, we did it! Why was that so scary? The HP EVs we racked up in Granite Cave came in clutch. There's no other explanation. The level cap increases by more than just 2 this time, to 42. Before continuing on our adventure, I make a detour and explore Route 119 to find a Leaf Stone, which I immediately use on Tengu, evolving into Shiftry. Our next gym battle awaits us in Moss Deep City, but we have some Team Magma related things to do before we can get there. Kick-Chick evolves into Blaziken on our way to Mount Pyre, where we fail to stop Maxie from retrieving the blue orb. On the plus side, we get the TM for Shadow Ball here, and Boombox evolves into Exploud. We then head to Slateport City and once again fail to stop Maxie, this time from stealing a submarine. Damn, he's good. Heading to Lily Cove City next, we have our final battle with May. Kick-Chick was the wrong lead as May starts with Swellow, so I switch into Boombox and KO with Shockwave. I send Bowen and use Silverwind twice to KO Shroomish. Toilet Surf destroys Numel, and Tengu's Giga Drain destroys Marshtomp. She doesn't even get her starter to its final form before quitting on you as a rival. I guess I can see where she's coming from. She's frustrated that she started training before you and can't measure up. I say, skill issue, at the end of the day. Our next hurdle is to clear Team Magma's hideout, right beside Lily Cove. Blowing the grunts up leads to a battle with Tabitha again. Kick-Chick dispatches Numel easily, and Toilet Surf washes Camerupt and Mightyena away. All of the battles here were merely to buy time for Maxie to take the submarine to his destination. As a consolation, I take a Master Ball. I feel like he forgot this was here. Finally, we can head over to Moss Deep City. This next portion of the game is the reason 7.8 out of 10 is a meme. There is a ton of water to tread, but with it comes loads of trainers to build our strength on. Alongside them, the Moss Deep gym trainers help the team reach the cap, and we challenge the gym leader duo, Liza and Tate. I forgot to mention this at the start, but Gen 3 also introduces us to double battles, and the 7th badge is 1 double battle away from being ours. Liza and Tate use 1 Pokemon each, Sol-Locke and Lunatone. I lead with Tengu and Toilet. Fake Out flinches Lunatone, Surf hits both to just under half, and Sol-Locke sets up Sunny Day. I use Giga Drain to KO Sol-Locke, and Surf fails to KO Lunatone thanks to the sun. Lunatone lands Hypnosis on Tengu, and is healed. I start to reapply the damage with Surf and hope Tengu wakes up. Lunatone uses Calm Mind on the verge of death and is healed again. Tengu finally wakes up and gets a crit Oko with Giga Drain for the win. The level cap goes up by a single level to 43, but there's no time to battle gym leaders. Maxie is about to wake up a super ancient Pokemon. I temporarily box Tengu to add Azul Emerald to the team since I need a way to dive underwater. We find the stolen submarine and resurface in the seafloor cavern to find it littered with magma grunts. We blitz past them and fight Courtney. Toilet KOs Camerupt and Bo KOs Mightyena. Further in, we find the dormant Groudon. I guess you become monochrome when you sleep. I've never seen myself asleep, so I can't confirm. Maxie follows us in and challenges us to a battle. I lead with Bo against his Mightyena. Silver does about a quarter, and we're slowed down by Scary Face and confused by Swagger. I break through to use Toxic, knowing full well that Maxie will heal at some point. I use Moonlight to offset our damage the same turn he uses a Super Potion, and then KO with a Swagger-boosted Silverwind. Toilet Surf KOs Camerupt right after. Maxie's final Pokemon is Crobat, who immediately confuses us. Ice Beam hits for good damage, and we're able to KO before long. Winning doesn't even matter as Groudon responds to the blue orb Maxie carries and goes away. shining a light on the region that threatens to dry everything and everyone until no moisture remains. The music is really creepy, isn't it? I know it doesn't sound this ominous in Sapphire. Evidently, Groudon can only have headed to one place, Sootopolis City's Cave of Origin. Steven and Wallace, our next gym leader to beat, guide us to the cave and entrust us with calming this legendary Pokemon down, simply because an old lady gave us the red orb. I'll do you one better though. I'll catch it. Maxie's the one that forgot the Master Ball. Terra, the Groudon, is staying in the box. He can't destroy the world there. And that's that. With a thank you, Steven leaves. Kind of, underwhelming, isn't it? Tengu rejoins the party now that dive is no longer required, and we challenge the Sootopolis gym trainers. Wallace is a freak! He keeps a bunch of women in his dungeon, only accessible via pitfall trap. These ladies give us the XP we need and we challenge Wallace. With him running the powerful water type, my game plan is to boost Tengu's power with growth and sweep with Giga Drain. I use Fake Out on Love Disc, then start the growth. Knowing it'll use Sweet Kiss, the Person Berry immediately snaps us out of confusion. Thief is enough to KO after a few stacks of growth. Celio goes down to Giga Drain afterwards, and so does Milotic. Wallace sends out Seeking, it gets drained, and finally Whiscash is sent out and drained, netting us our final badge. With this win, the level cap increases to 53, the median between Sydney's level 49 ace and the champion's level 58 ace. Not much stands in our way before we can challenge the Elite Four, just Victory Road and Wally. After a long hiatus, Wally is ready to take us on, as equals. Toilet's gotten much stronger since we battled Winona, so Ice Beam is enough to OHKO Wally's opening Altaria. I pivot into Tengu to deal with Magneton and start stacking growth after using Fake Out. Thief drops Magneton to half, but Supersonic and a bunch of Screech defense drops force me to switch into Kick Chick. Kick Chick uses Earthquake for the OHKO. Wally's Ace Gardevoir is sent out, so I switch back into Tengu, who takes no damage from Psychic. Fake Out and Thief deal good damage, but Gardevoir starts to set up Double Team and Calm Mind. Gross. Eventually, Tengu is able to KO with Thief, and I send Bo out to deal with Roselia. Wally's last Pokemon is a Delcatty, who's defeated by Boombox's Strength. A way better final attempt than May, that's for sure. The team does their final bit of grinding and is ready to challenge the Elite Four before long. Here we go. Our first Hoenn Elite Four challenge. I'm sure it'll be fine. We've gotten out of some seriously tough battles unscathed to get here. Our first battle is against the Dark-type trainer, Sydney. Bo goes first against Mightyena. Silverwind doesn't do bad damage despite the Intimidate, but I set up Toxic and switch into Kick Chick. Takedown crits, that's annoying, and Sydney uses a full restore. After one bulk up, Brick Break is an OHKO. Shiftry flinches us with Fake Out and outspeeds to use extra sensory before going down to Brick Break. This brave nature has really worked against us all game. Absol goes down to Brick Break and Sharpedo is sent out. I switch into Tengu and use Fake Out, Growth, and Giga Drain to offset the damage we took for the KO. Cacturne is sent out, so I switch into Bo. Cotton Spore slows us down, and Leech Seed is applied, but the quad-effective Silverwind is an OHKO. One down. Up next is the Ghost user, Phoebe. Hopefully Boombox's Howl and Shadow Ball is all we need here. Howl boosts Boombox's attack, and Dusclops sets up Future Sight. Shadow Ball hits for big damage, but Dusclops uses Curse and takes itself out in the process. Shadow Ball is an OHKO on the Bayonet that follows it up, but the Curse and Future Sight take too much out of Boombox. Tengu comes out to set up Growth against Sableye, who can't hit us very hard, until a crit, special defense dropping Shadow Ball connects. Giga Drain heals us a fair bit in KOs, and then Thief OHKOs Dusclops and Bayonet number 2. Tengu did not come to play, and I am here for it. Glacia the Ice-type trainer is third in line. Kick Chick leads again against Glalie. I use Bulk Up twice, while Glalie uses Light Screen and Hail. Ice Beam connects for mediocre damage, and Brick Break OHKOs, breaking the Light Screen too. Both of Glacia's Celio were taken out with Brick Break, and her Ace Walrein is sent out. It too can't tank the +2 Brick Break, and her last Pokemon, a second Glalie, meets the same fate. That was the most straightforward battle yet. The last of the Elite Four is Drake, the Dragon-type Sailor. Toilet is up first, and Ice Beam is an OHKO on Shelgon. Flygon goes down with one Ice Beam after using Dragon Breath, and so does Altaria. Drake's second Flygon meets the same fate, but lowers us to below half with Dragon Breath. Despite the Citrus Berry, I doubt Toilet can tank anything Salamence can hit us with, so I switch into Maw, and then Boombox to KO with Ice Beam after tanking 2 Flamethrowers. That was incredibly close, but we're still deathless. Are we going to do it again? Only one way to find out, as we enter the final room and come face to face with the champ, Steven. I enjoy this reveal because he was a recurring presence on your adventure to get here. It's not at all surprising, it's just nice. Kick-Chick faces off with Steven's lead Skarmory, gets the Yoko with Flamethrower, and Brick Break on the following Aggron. Steven sends his ace Metagross out next, so I pivot into Tengu and nullify the obvious Psychic attack. I use Fake Out and send Maw in to tank Meteor Mash. Expecting Earthquake, I send Toilet out, dodging it, and then use Protect to dodge Psychic. I send Tengu out and repeat the play until I'm confident that I can send Kick-Chick in to KO with Flamethrower. Due to the level differences between us, this KO is only guaranteed with the chip damage I apply. I finally send him in, and Kick-Chick's Flamethrower crits and takes out Metagross. That was huge. Next is Armaldo. I switch into Toilet, but Surf doesn't KO. Armaldo uses Ancient Power, and kills Toilet. Shit. I send Maw out and use Iron Defense while Steven heals. Water Pulse crits and nearly kills us, so I use Baton Pass, sending the boosts to Tengu. Fake Out flinches, and I start using Growth. Aerial Ace doesn't do much with the defense boosts, so I'm able to use Growth several times before healing with Giga Drain. Another full restore is used, so I use Growth and Thief to KO Armaldo. Cradilly is up next, and I use Giga Drain to heal, tank the Sludge Bomb, and KO with Thief. Steven's last Pokemon is Claydol, who goes down to a single Giga Drain, ending this run with 1 death. We were so close to Deathless! Toilet's attacks were so consistently getting the job done that I expected the same to happen here, and that led to the only loss of Ruby. This team was really fun to use overall, and featured multiple Pokemon I've never used before, like the GOAT Dustox. Mawile didn't have an overwhelming presence throughout, but its defense pass right at the end was critical to our success. The Torchic, Wurmple, Seedot, Wingull, Whismurlines, and Mawile are added to the ban list as we head into Pokemon Sapphire. Next time.